Alright, so now we've got the leap motion. This is basically using some cameras and infrared LEDs to do some tracking of your hands. You can see I have the visualizer on the computer and I'll have my hand over the leap motion. You can see it tracks it very well. You can track individual digits. Pretty lifelike. Pretty well too. This is using the V2 desktop version. There's another version that's out right now that's mostly for Windows. I'm recording on a Mac. That one's a little bit more for the VR space. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. Alright, so this is the leap motion. Here's its range. It has about 2 feet in height and 8 cubic foot around here. There's wide angle cameras going in the Z and X axes directions. It's pretty cool. The only reason it has that limited range is because of the LED light propagation effect. It just won't reach far enough to see your hands. It can send up to 200 frames per second. It's a lot of data coming through at once. Leap motion doesn't actually have a processor on it, so it relies on the computer that it's plugged into to do all the heavy lifting. Sometimes you even have to limit the frame data coming through because it's too much information for the programs that you need to use. There's a bunch of different APIs for both Unity, JavaScript, C++, Java, Python, and Objective-C. It can be used in applications for freehand computer controls like browsing and shortcuts, basically doing presentations and stuff. Creative tools, sculpting. I actually used a 3D sculpting like virtual reality app. It was really cool with it. Educational tools, interactive elements, which I'll show you a demo of. Games, it's very fun to use your hand as like a spaceship and dodge things. Music, where you can touch different instruments or play sound just by moving your hand in a specific vicinity around the leap motion. And virtual reality, which is the real winner that they're going for. You can see right here they have it on a mount that's connected to an Oculus Rift. You can actually buy that. They are $20 for the head mount, but I actually 3D printed some. They're pretty cool. Here's the value of it, $80 in retail, but you can find it for less. I got mine for about $35. And virtual reality, which is really cool. You can use a mix between virtual reality and augmented reality by using the Oculus Rift or a Google Cardboard, something like that. So you can actually see your hand in the virtual reality app. So it makes for some pretty cool stuff. So now let's look at the visualizer real quick over here. You can see here both of my hands. You see these little black squares. That is the camera view of both cameras. So you can see my hands are actually there. And then you see my hands and they do a little color trail behind it, seeing your fingers. So now let's run some apps real quick that I wrote. So this app is basically, actually let's show you what the code looks like real quick. This is basically just looking through using Cylonjs, a robotics JavaScript framework powered by Node. This is looking for leap motion gestures right now, and anytime it sees a gesture, it will log it out. Gestures are basically doing a swipe, a circle, a key tap, or a screen tap. So I'll show that right now. Go ahead and run it. Everything's all optimized. I'll put my hand over there. I'll do a screen tap. You see that's right there. It says state stop type key tap right here. So let's show you a couple other ones. Let's do, here's key tap again. Here's screen tap. Here's swipe. And swipe and circle have different states, starting, updating, and stopping, because it's a continuous motion. Same with circle. So here's circle, just continuously going. All right, we'll go ahead and stop that one. Let's go ahead, actually. Let's run this one, or let's show you what it looks like first. So this is just going to be showing the position of my palm. This one's actually really cool. You'll see what it looks like. So has 3 different values going through, X, Y, and Z. You can see as I move my hand to the left of the leap motion, it goes negative. Now it's right over the middle, and it's about 0. Then I go all the way to the right, now it's positive. The second number is Y-axis, so I put my hand lower. You can see it gets really big on the camera, and it goes down about 60. I raise it up, and now it's about 200, 300. So that's the Y-axis, and the Z-axis is a little bit different than you would think. It's backwards. away from me is actually negative. So like forward on the leap motion is negative in the z-axis, and towards me is positive. Kind of makes sense and mathematically, but like you'd think it'd be different if you were controlling something, which you can actually use leap motion to control a lot of cool things like robotics. So you just have to make sure you reverse that and find the distance and find the values that you really want to use for. So go ahead and quit that. I'll show you one last file. I always forget to show you the code. Alright, so this one's basically just taking the frame data and the hand data and printing it to screen. So there's two different listeners for both frame and hand. Frame is just anything in the frame, and then hand is something specifically related to a hand, like palm position, the sphere, that little blue circle you see right there that's floating in the middle of my hand. That's the sphere center. So let's go ahead and run this. So you see here's the frame ID, timestamp, hand count, pointable count, and gesture count. So I just put my hand in there. You see there's a lot of data. If you can kind of see that this gesture count 0, but as soon as I do a gesture that it recognizes, like circle, I'll say 1 gesture count, or swipe, that's 5, circle is 1, key tap is 3, screen tap is 2, and that's basically you can track your palm velocity, your sphere center, all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. You can do multiple hands at once. That's really an awesome thing. So look forward to it. Alright, so now we're going to go through the Leap Motion apps, the Play Store basically for them. Here's a very cool app that they made. It's like a demo. You can kind of see what it's like to use the Leap Motion. So here's my hands above the Leap Motion. It's pretty cool. You can see how the graphics are different than the visualizer. So let's go ahead and run through a couple of the examples that they have built for us. You can kind of get a glimpse of how you can use your imagination to write different apps for this. So I can pick up the blocks. If I pinch my fingers, the idea in this one is to place the heads on the little robots. You see how they like attach to it. Eventually, we'll get all of them. Sometimes it's not as responsive as you would think, but if your hands are ever not responding how you want them to, you can just take them off the screen and put them back on. The only bad part is that we have to, I could have showed you the next step, but I didn't want to wait for you to see all 4 robots get their heads on, but they basically dance at the end. It's pretty cool. Feel free to check it out. This one, there's a flower that blooms. And you can pluck the petals off. And as the petals fall into the water, they turn into fish and swim around. So it's pretty interesting. Take the actual head of the flower. And eventually a new flower grows back. Here comes the new flower. Let's go ahead and quickly peel it off so you can see the ending of it. Then we'll see fireworks going off in the background to kind of show that you completed the tutorial. It's very interesting, very beautiful how they go through this. And there's the fireworks going off. And that's it. So there's a little demonstration of the Leap Motion game. Hope you enjoyed the video and look forward to more videos.